Hello everybody, it's been a minute. I wanted to update on the Camaro here. It is Ohio and it is freezing out, so I have been very unmotivated to work on this thing. Plus, last time I was working on it, there is a collector gasket leak and it is extremely annoying, and I haven't driven it in quite a while. I've been fussing with this thing over and over and over and over, and I can't get it right. But today I found some motivation. It's a little bit warmer out, so I can actually stand to be inside the garage here. But let me set up the camera and show you what I'm working on down there at the collector. Okay, so for better or worse, this car has a custom exhaust that we built, and it all worked right when we still had turbos on it, but things have changed. So now the one that I'm having issues with is this guy right here. Can't really reach it. But everything's sealed up all the way back to there. I have some, it's like muffler tape back there. There was one leak I couldn't really get with a clamp, so that's how it's gonna have to go for now. But the main issue is this collector right here. That bend on the pipe is way too sharp. So I can't get bolts in there just right to tighten it down. I'm gonna have to cut it somewhere and take it off and re-weld that straight piece right there so I can actually get bolts onto it. But like I said, there's some muffler tape back there now, so it's not so easy to do. So I need to come up with a plan to cut this and then weld it, and I have the pipe, but just a lot of work. So I'm gonna come up with a plan real quick, and then we're gonna probably get cutting here, and hopefully we don't screw the whole thing up. Alright guys, we're back. Day 2. When I left you guys off, I was still messing around with those bolts, trying to get that to work on the previous setup, but it wasn't going to happen. So I took a Sawzall and cut it out. You can check it out there. I need to paint everything still because it's all getting rusty. I should have painted it in the first place. But anyways, the whole point of this is this flange here. I welded it way too tight, not thinking about it, and you can't get a bolt in there any good, and it doesn't bolt up right, and therefore it doesn't seal. And I mean, I've only ran the car, cut a little bit. You can already see, look at that carbon on there. That's right where it's blowing out. So I'm going to cut this, weld it, do what I have to do to get this right so I can actually drive the car and enjoy it. There we go. She's off. Time to start planning. Alright, so right now the plan is, right about where this line is, just a rough measurement. I'm going to cut that there, tack weld this flange onto it, and then I'm going to go underneath the car and see how it fits up. It's going to be a pretty tight turn because there's that other exhaust pipe right next to it. So I'm probably going to have to cut this back still about, I don't know, maybe halfway. And then I'm going to have to get in a tight turn right there. And I think once I have that tight turn on there, I can probably use the old pipe and maybe make that work. And maybe I can, I mean, that pipe works right now, and I'd like to, reuse the steel on it, but I have extra pipe too if we need to make a whole custom thing. Hopefully we don't, but if we can, we have to. Yeah, but I'm going to cut this, tack that, and then we're going to see how it looks underneath there. Just doing a tack on this one. Nothing great, but that should do it. I'll clean this all up later. You can see how much splatter there is from that $100 welder, but I need to adjust the settings on there a little bit. It's still a little off. So, yeah, I'm gonna go underneath there and see how this looks there. Alright, so here's what I'm talking about, guys. There's that flange, there's that tacked piece. They're kind of stuck together right now. But you can see that tacked piece is sitting on top of this exhaust right here. So I need to be able to make a quick bend and head that way with it and kind of around that existing pipe. So it looks good from right here, but we're gonna have to take off quite a bit so we can make that weird bend and back onto the existing pipe. Okay, so I got the basic shape down here. I'm probably gonna end up trimming this or something. I'm not too sure yet. But that is it. It was a weird angle, as you can tell. And I had to grind and get it just right, but I think this should work. So I'm going to put a tack or two on there, stick the two together, and mock it up down there and make sure that all lines up right, and hopefully that will solve that big issue. And then I just have to figure out how to take that pipe and connect it to the rest of it, which I don't think it'll be as bad as I'm thinking, but we're gonna find out here shortly. Okay, that should be stuck together pretty well. Alright, there it is mocked up. It's bolted in and it all sits just right on there. So that bend is good, I can get all the bolts in, I'll be able to get that gasket in there, and that will hopefully seal up real nice. And no more exhaust leak. But now I have to figure out that whole bend around the corner and then back there into the X pipe. Luckily I have that existing pipe, but still, need to get that just right. Oh, that other pipe was in there. Didn't even know that. Alright, so here's what we have so far. All tacked together right now. I've got some gaps to fill when final welding comes around. But I'm still trying to figure out the exact shape down here that needs to be. It doesn't seem to be lining up the same way. I figured it wouldn't, but I think I might just have to cut the bend here, get the bend just right, and then I have straight pieces I can weld onto it, and it should slip right into that that X pipe right there. But that's all the time I have to mess around on this today. I'll probably do a part 2 video of all the final welds, and hopefully I'll show you guys how it looks underneath. Maybe throw some paint on here too. It needs it. Yeah, but thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in part 2.